When they realize that you are self aware, that you recognize your own worth, and that you also receive attention from the world, their respect for you skyrockets. It sends a bulletproof signal that you are a man of high standards who will never tolerate hot and cold behavior, emotional head games, or the absolute insult of being treated like a backup plan while she figures out what she wants. You are drawing a line in the sand that says your presence is a privilege. And if she wants to be a part of your world, she needs to show up with consistent energy. Now, understand that executing this mindset correctly has absolutely nothing to do with being an arrogant, loudmouth braggart. You don't say this to hurt her, to pull her down maliciously, or to childishly brag about other people texting you. You carry this truth with a quiet, unbothered, absolute self awareness. It is reflected in the steady posture of your body, the calm cadence of your voice, and the unhurried way you respond to her. You are simply stepping out of the weak, crowd pleasing mentality and stepping firmly into your masculine authority. Stop acting like a woman is doing you a massive charity favor just by giving you the time of day. Hold your head up high, look her dead in the eyes, and carry yourself with the absolute certainty of a man who knows he has choices. When you genuinely believe in your own worth and refuse to settle for breadcrumbs, the rest of the world has no choice but to meet you at the high standard you have set for yourself. Let's look at how the vast majority of modern dating conversations actually play out. And let's be completely honest about how incredibly boring they are. Most guys step into an interaction with a woman and immediately start reading from a safe, robotic, predictable script that she has already heard 1,000 times before. They ask the exact same uninspired questions. Where are you from? What do you do for work? Do you have any siblings? What are your hobbies? It feels less like an exciting romantic connection and more like a dry, tedious job interview. It is safe, it is comfortable, and it is completely forgettable. Women are absolutely exhausted by this pattern. They go on dates or open up their messaging apps only to be met with a wall of superficial small talk that requires zero emotional investment and sparks zero chemistry. They nod along and give their rehearsed, polite answers, but inside they are completely checked out. They don't remember these conversations, and they certainly don't feel attraction toward the man who is running the exact same play as every other guy in her inbox. The exact moment you look a woman in the eyes, lean in, and calmly say, "Tell me something real, no filters," you instantly smash through that superficial layer and shatter the boring pattern. You are doing something incredibly rare in today's world. You are challenging her to drop the act. We live in an era where everyone is hiding behind a carefully curated mask, pretending to be perfect and rehearsing their every move to look impressive on social media. When you say this phrase, you are explicitly telling her that you are completely uninterested in the polished, Instagram ready, media trained version of her life. You are inviting her to step out of the performance and show you the messy, raw, authentic human being underneath. This is a massive psychological trigger because women deeply desire to be seen and understood for who they truly are. Yet almost no one has the courage or the depth to actually invite that vulnerability out of them. By confidently issuing this challenge, you are instantly separating yourself from the crowd and proving that you operate on a completely different level as a man. You are sending a powerful, unspoken signal that you are not fragile, you are not easily shocked, and you are not looking for shallow compliance or fake polite laughs. You are showing her that you have the emotional maturity and the masculine grounding to handle her true reality, her raw opinions, her hidden passions, her weird quirks, and even her flaws. It demonstrates that you are a man of substance who craves genuine, high value connection rather than a superficial ego boost. The dynamic immediately shifts from a boring back and forth exchange of resumes into an intense, exciting, and deeply memorable shared experience. But you have to realize that this phrase requires you to be completely locked into your delivery and ready to hold your frame. If you say this and then act shocked, uncomfortable, or judgmental when she actually opens up and tells you something raw, you will instantly lose all your credibility. You have to be completely unbothered and grounded, ready to receive whatever truth she throws at you. The next time you find yourself in a conversation that is spinning its wheels, going nowhere fast, or feeling completely dry, do not just sit there and let it die a slow death. Break the pattern entirely. Look her dead in the eyes, let the superficial noise fade away, and say, "Tell me something real." No filters. Say it smoothly, say it like you mean it, and watch her defensive walls come tumbling completely down. This concept is a massive boundary and a profound mindset shift that completely separates boys from grown men. A devastating mistake that countless guys make every single day is treating their personal time like it is a cheap, unlimited commodity that is constantly up for grabs. The absolute second they receive a little bit of validation, a random smile, a short flirty text, or a late night message, they drop everything they are doing. They will literally cancel their gym sessions, neglect their career goals, push aside their closest friends, and completely rearrange their entire daily schedule just to make themselves available for a woman who hasn't earned a single ounce of that effort. They think that by being endlessly available and instantly accessible, they are showing how much they care. But let's look at the brutal, uncomfortable truth of human psychology. When you act like your time is cheap and worthless, people will treat it exactly that way. And that absolutely includes the women you are trying to attract. If you show someone that your life can be completely disrupted at a moment's notice for a crumb of attention, you are screaming to them that you lack an inner purpose, a mission, and a spine. High value men operate from an entirely different frequency because they live their lives with absolute intention and deep purpose. They recognize that time is the most precious asset a man possesses, a finite resource that can never be bought back once it is spent. Because of this, they fiercely protect their daily schedules, their peace of mind, and their focus. They make their life decisions based on rock solid personal standards, long term goals, and self respect, never on fleeting emotions or a sudden burst of validation. When you carry yourself with this level of discipline and confidently establish the standard that I decide who gets my time, you are taking all of your masculine power right back into your own hands. You aren't being rude, you aren't being toxic, and you aren't playing childish games. You are simply being highly intentional about your existence. You are sending a massive signal that you are not accessible to everyone, and you are certainly not available to women who expect you to chase them around while offering absolutely nothing meaningful in return. By firmly establishing this boundary, you completely flip the dating script and reverse the traditional power dynamic. Instead of exhausted, desperate behavior where you are constantly sweating, trying to impress her, and working overtime to prove that you are somehow worthy of sitting in her schedule, the tables turn entirely. She now has to stand back and actively wonder if she is actually interesting enough, respectful enough, and valuable enough to fit into yours. This mental shift changes everything about how she views you. Women are entirely used to being the ones who sit back, act like the ultimate prize, and watch a long line of desperate guys chase them down. But when they encounter a grounded man who makes them qualify themselves with calm, unshakable confidence, they instantly snap out of their boredom and pay close attention. They respect a man who respects himself, and they crave the validation of a man whose time actually has to be earned. To execute this mindset successfully, you cannot just say the words to look cool. You have to actively live it. You have to be a man who is deeply committed to his own self improvement, his career, his health, and his long term vision. When you have a packed, productive life that you actually love, you naturally stop overthinking and obsessing over text messages because you are too busy building an empire. You don't cancel your plans just because she might want to hang out, and you don't answer calls instantly when you are in the zone working on your future. You make decisions as the leader of your own life. When the moment comes to communicate this standard, you do it without an ounce of loud, arrogant ego, but with a quiet, undeniable certainty. You look her in the eyes or send that message with total calm, making it clear that your attention is earned, not given away for free. When you value your clock, the rest of the world will value your presence. Let's look at another massive trap that countless guys fall into every single day because they are operating out of total fear. They turn themselves into a complete yes man. The moment they are hanging out with a beautiful woman, they automatically shut down their own opinions, suppress their true thoughts, and start nodding along like a bobblehead to absolutely everything that comes out of her mouth. They honestly believe that by constantly agreeing with her, validating her every random whim, and never causing a single ripple of friction, they are smoothly sliding their way into her good graces. They think to themselves, if I just play it safe, agree with all her opinions, and show her how incredibly agreeable I am, she will like me more. But that is a catastrophic mistake. And it is the absolute fastest, most guaranteed express ticket straight into the depths of the friend zone. Women do not want a spineless echo chamber or a male cheerleader who is too terrified to have an independent thought. They crave a man who has the courage to stand his ground, hold his mental frame, and push back against them, but do it with an undeniable sense of charm, wit, and masculine playfulness. The exact second you look a woman dead in the eyes, let a slow smirk hit your face, and calmly say, "You're not as right as you think, but you're definitely cute when you're wrong," you instantly inject a massive jolt of playful tension directly into the interaction. This phrase is a masterclass in modern communication because it accomplishes something incredibly powerful. It allows you to openly disagree with her and challenge her point without turning the conversation into a toxic, bitter, or draining argument. You are creating a fun, high energy obstacle course for her mind. You aren't insulting her intelligence or being a condescending jerk. You are stepping out of the boring, safe, predictable category of men and stepping firmly into the memorable, exciting category of a challenger. It keeps the entire interaction highly stimulating, emotionally engaging, and incredibly fun because it forces her to actually think and react to you in real time. By delivering this line smoothly, you're also displaying an extraordinary level of emotional maturity and supreme self confidence. You are proving to her that you are completely non reactive and that a simple difference of opinion doesn't threaten you, offend you, or make you insecure. Most guys get defensive, loud, or angry when a woman disagrees with them, which instantly destroys the vibe and exposes their deep seated fragility. When you handle a disagreement by casually teasing her instead, you are demonstrating that you are entirely unbothered by the debate. You don't have a desperate, sweating need to win an intellectual trial or prove how smart you are. You are simply enjoying the natural friction of the moment. That effortless, unshakable comfort is an absolute magnet for attraction because it shows you are completely rooted in your own authority as a man. However, you must understand that the entire success of this phrase hinges completely on your raw delivery and your body language. If you say it with a blank face, a cold tone, or an aggressive posture, it will blow up in your face and make you look like an arrogant, unlikable jerk. The vibe must be completely lighthearted, smooth, and flirtatious. Wait for the perfect moment, like when she is passionately, aggressively defending a point that is obviously flawed, or arguing over something completely trivial, like a movie plot or a restaurant choice. Lean back slightly, lock direct eye contact, let that playful smirk spread across your face, and deliver the line with a calm, amused cadence in your voice. Do not follow it up with a heavy lecture trying to prove why she is wrong. Just let the tease hang in the air. Look at her like you've got a massive secret and watch how her energy changes. She will either playfully punch your arm, laugh out loud, raise her eyebrow in disbelief, or try to aggressively defend her point even harder just to get you to fold. No matter how she reacts, the safe, robotic facade is gone. Real chemistry has entered the room, and the game is officially on. Let's pull back the curtain on a major aspect of female psychology that leaves most men completely baffled, frustrated, and rutting in the wrong direction. We live in an era where a lot of women intentionally throw up a front of being highly intense, difficult, or fiercely opinionated. They will throw a little attitude your way, challenge your statements, or bring a wave of emotional chaos into a casual conversation. Most guys look at this behavior and immediately assume she is just being difficult or combative, but they are completely missing the deeper truth of what is actually happening. It is a test. Women naturally push buttons, not because they are malicious or trying to manipulate you, but because their intuition is desperately searching for safety. They have learned from experience that the vast majority of guys out there are completely fragile. The moment a guy faces a little bit of female intensity, attitude, or a strong personality, he does one of two things. He either completely shuts down like a scared child, or he gets angry, reactive, and runs away. They throw these tests out because they want to find out as quickly as possible if you are a real man who can remain completely unshaken when the storm hits, or if you are just another pretender who will fold the second things get heavy. The exact moment a woman throws a wave of attitude or a strong challenge at you, and you look her dead in the eyes, smile calmly, and say, "Don't worry, I can handle you." You send a powerful primal signal straight to her emotional core. With one simple, smoothly delivered sentence, you are completely shifting the dynamic of the entire interaction. You are telling her louder than actions ever could that her fire, her intensity, and her strong personality do not intimidate you in the slightest. You are communicating that you do not break under pressure. You do not beg for her to calm down, and you do not lose your cool just because she decided to test your boundaries. It shows that you are a natural leader who is firmly rooted in his own masculinity. Deep down, a strong, independent woman does not want a weak man she can easily steamroll or intimidate. She is looking for a man who is solid enough to hold his ground, maintain his frame, and provide a safe, unmovable anchor for her energy to rest against. However, here is the absolute catch that you need to understand if you want this to work. You cannot just repeat this phrase like a robotic pickup line or a cheap script. You actually have to be that guy. If you say the words, but your body language is tense, your voice is shaking, or you get visibly frustrated 2 minutes later, she will see right through the act and lose all respect for you. To make this phrase highly effective and magnetic, you must possess true internal grounding. You have to be the type of man who consciously refuses to get dragged into petty, unnecessary arguments or toxic emotional drama. When she throws a sharp comment or a dramatic reaction your way, you cannot take it personally. You have to look at her intensity not as a direct attack on your ego, but as an opportunity to display your absolute strength and self control. You remain the calm, unbothered center of the room, while everything else spins around you. The next time a woman looks at you with a smirk and tries to warn you by saying something like, I'm a lot to handle, or when she deliberately acts a little difficult just to see how you respond, do not lean in nervously or start trying to argue your case. Do not try to prove how tough you are by getting loud or defensive. Instead, let all the nervous energy completely drain out of your body. Lean back comfortably. Lock direct, unwavering eye contact. Let a calm, confident smile hit your face. And deliver the line with absolute, smooth certainty. "Don't worry, I can handle you." Then you simply hold that frame and let the silence settle. By showing her that you can look her intensity right in the face and smile through it, you stand completely apart from every other guy she has ever met. You prove that you are a man of substance who leads with power. And that is the exact moment her defensive walls transform into genuine, deep respect. Let's dissect one of the most exhausting, transparent mistakes that the average guy makes the second he tries to catch a woman's attention. He turns himself into a walking, talking billboard for his own ego. He steps into an interaction and immediately goes into overdrive trying to impress her. He starts flashing his material status, subtly or aggressively exaggerating his career achievements, name dropping influential people he knows, flexing his money, or reciting incredibly cringy, smooth lines he memorized from some social media guru. He thinks he is putting on a masterclass in being a high value man. But let's be totally direct about how it actually looks to a woman. It looks completely insecure. It screams to her that you do not believe you are interesting or valuable enough just standing there as yourself. So you have to bring out a massive pile of external trophies just to get her to stay in the conversation. It feels entirely fake, performative, and desperate. Women possess an incredibly sharp intuition for this try hard energy, and they can smell a man who is hunting for applause from a mile away. Nothing kills a romantic vibe faster than a man who is clearly performing for a grade. The exact moment you step out of that exhausting trap and operate from the mindset of, I don't impress, I express, you display a completely different elite level of self awareness and masculine power. You are drawing a massive line in the sand and announcing to her through your energy and your words that you are completely done playing the qualification game. You are telling her, I am not here to audition for your approval. I am not here to win you over. And I am certainly not going to twist myself into a pretzel to fit into whatever expectations you have. I am simply here to show you exactly who I am. This shift in your psychology is incredibly rare and unbelievably attractive because it instantly removes all the heavy, suffocating pressure from the interaction. You are no longer trapped in your own head, wondering, is she liking what I'm saying? Instead, you are fully present in the moment, sharing your reality, and leaving it completely up to her to decide if she resonates with your vibe or not. If she likes the raw, uncut version of who you are, fantastic. If she doesn't, your baseline happiness and self worth remain entirely unaffected. Here is the deep psychological reality of human connection that most guys completely miss. People do not fall for perfection, they fall for raw, unapologetic authenticity. When you operate entirely from a place of genuine self expression, the entire way you speak and share your life completely transforms. You share your deepest beliefs, your core values, your wildest passions, and even your weirdest quirks without checking her face every 2 seconds to see if she approves. You own your flaws, you speak your truth, and you don't care who validates it. Your confidence stops relying on her applause, her smiles, or her compliments because it is generated entirely from within your own soul. This is an absolute breath of fresh air for a woman because it feels incredibly refreshing, remarkably solid, and safe. She realizes she is dealing with a real, grounded human being who doesn't wear a fake social mask just to get what he wants. That is the exact foundation required to build deep, intoxicating chemistry, rather than a superficial, short lived attraction built on lies. To bring this powerful concept into your daily interactions, you need to completely drop the script and stop trying to figure out what you think she wants you to be. Be who you are fully, clearly, and with absolute comfort in your own skin.